Hi everybody, Jonathon Marc Mendes, Painted Love, and welcome to today's free tutorial, which is all about the one brush colour blend. You may have done my free marble tutorial, which has been hugely successful all over the world. So today we're going to change it up a little bit. We're working on this kitchen cabinet door, and I'm going to show you the blending technique. This should give you a greater idea of what to expect within the Academy. I do many blending techniques across all of my work. This is what's got me recognised, show-stopping pieces on camera. I do smoky blend, contour blend, and coastal blend within the Academy. Coastal ombre is one of the techniques which I teach within my 6-week masterclass. It's very similar to what you're about to see here, with a few hidden little gems along the way. So let's get stuck into the process of one brush blend. So let's talk about the materials that we're going to need for this process. I'm working on today, a kitchen cabinet door, just to show you how it's done. And you will need to prep. Everything that I do within my Academy usually consists of a base coat of something to prep. So this is like my canvas coat. Also, we're going to blend with some real bright colours today. I've got a real dark green, a lovely forest green, and a citrusy yellowy green, a sunflower yellow, and a little bit of a tangerine orange, and something that looks very like pillar box red. So they're my colours. I'm going to try and blend them all across this board right in front of your eyes. Also, a large natural bristle brush. This is an oval bristle brush. The bristle count on here is quite a lot, so tend to work with a nice brush. And I've got a mister or a water spray that I'll be using along the process. So let's get stuck in. What you would need is a dry brush to begin with, and use your mist just to add a little bit of moisture to the brush bristles. And that's good. And then what I like to do is just tap it in my hand. Also, what you might notice is that I'm pulling away from my project. I do not want to apply any water to this surface. And then when I'm happy that there's moisture in the brush, it's just damp. You could work from cleaning your brush, squeezing out the moisture to begin with. We're going to go with, now, if you're going to work with colours, it's always interesting to work from maybe light to dark, but I'm going to make it a little bit more complex today and mix my colours around. So we're going to start with the dark green, and all I'm going to do is just tickle the top of the brush, and what you might be able to see is there's a little bit of paint there on the top of the brush. Now, this is going to be really tough because I'm choosing the darkest colour first. But like I said, if you want to do it the lightest to the dark, then go with that. So let's apply the first layer of colour. I can pick up a little bit more paint to the surface. A little bit more moisture. I can feel the paint dragging on itself. So I'm going to add more water. So there's a little bit more moisture going in there. That feels good. Like so. I'm going to start like that. And as you can see, I'm going straight across the project, back and forth, more moisture. I'm just doing this by feel. I can feel that the paint is dragging. So once I've got that amount of moisture in there, that's great. Always practice anything that you do. I always teach my students in real life and online, practice on a board first. Kitchen cabinet doors are great, especially ones that have got an aperture, because if you've got an aperture with indentations, this is slightly more tricky. So you can use your brush just to kind of tap into the different layers of that aperture. Right, so that's where I'm going to go with the first colour. As you can see, it's quite dark in its shade. And then a little bit more moisture again. Lovely. And we're going to pick up the lovely, lovely citrusy green colour on the end of the brush. I'm tapping in the paint colour and wiping off. So what you can see now In the brush, there is the darker green at the bottom, and we're just tapping in the next colour on top. So the brush is doing the blending for you. And on the piece, we're going to drop down and leave a little gap between the two colours. So, like so, I'm dropping down and I'm going back and forward, like so. Pick up a bit more paint, like that. Tapping it all in on the ends of the brush. So I'm not connecting the two just yet. I'm just applying, so it's mixing the colours within the ferrule of the brush. And I'm going to work it slowly back towards the darker colour. Just a little bit at a time, brushing backwards and forwards. If this was a piece of furniture, I would start from the centre part of the furniture and work one way around and the other way around. If you're going to do it that angle, and it's all about pressure as well. So I've pressed quite hard at this point. As I'm blending back into the other colour, I'm releasing the pressure across the board. And I'm happy with that. Now I can go back again, add a little bit more water. I've got a drippy spray, so I'm really making sure to stay away from my paintwork. I'm picking up another part of the same colour again, and I'm just going to drop a little bit below. And go across and blend, blend, blend. It's a tickle thing. And I'll allow it to pick up, as I'm going back and picking more strength in that colour, allowing it to go back. I love the greens blended, beautiful colours. So tickle it back, across. There we go. And now I'm going to change colours again. So I'm going to go for this lovely sunshiny yellow colour. I'm going to pick up that and remove the excess. So what you can also see is the colours are now blending. As the colours go through the bristles in the brush, they're blending. So the dark colours down here, the lighter colours next, and then the yellow sitting on the top. Again, we're going to drop down beneath that colour that we've painted. So somewhere here, to allow a little bit of room to start that blend. And that feels good. I'm going to work it back towards the colour that we've just done. Slowly, slowly work it. Like so, and then pick up some more colour. Real strength of colour there. Beautiful fresh yellow. Some of my favourite colours are the greens and yellows. So when you're doing this on your board, this is going to get you a feel for how to blend colours. There's many different ways of blending colours. In my academy, I have vintage faded floral. Now that is a decoupage project, but within there you'll see me contour blending. So this will be to the apertures of the doorway, the doors on the cabinet and the drawers. So you'll see that happen on that. Also I do smoky blend, which is a little bit more ephemeral. It's softer colours and blended in patches. Slightly different technique, but this is the way I would master it first, by working on a board in these horizontal lines. And it should give you all of the techniques to help you move forward and progress with your own techniques. The Academy is built to give you lots, the 6-week masterclass is built to give you lots of different ways of painting. So when you've completed the 6 weeks, you'll amalgamate them to be the way that you want to be a painter, not the way that I paint. You'll paint uniquely the way that you love to paint. Right, let's go for some orange. This is a big connection, a big jump. Slightly more moisture. Let's pick up some orange on the end of the brush again. sat on the middle, dropping down, not connecting to the yellow part yet. And that's a lovely colour. I'm going to work it back into itself. Oh, those colours. And by doing this as well, when you're playing with your paint colours, what you're doing is connecting new colours to other colours. So you're learning about mixing colours together. And you can use this almost as your own colour chart. You can see that orange and yellow making a lovely colour between, a lovely neutral in between there. The greens and yellows making real citrusy colours. So I would play around with this quite a lot. Pick up, if somebody's taking a kitchen out, beg them for the doors. Don't throw away them in landfill. Use these as your canvases to learning how to paint. I would never ever work this without doing a base coat. And as you can see, my base coat was somewhere quite neutral. It's almost like a nude colour. And the reason I worked with that is because if you do happen to miss a bit, it will only show this colour underneath. If you're working the blues and greens, I would go with somewhere in the mid-range tone of the blues and greens, because if you come back to anything, you're only going to see a little chip of that colour, which for me is okay. Right, we're going to end with the bright pillar box red, which will be gorgeous, I should think. There's something so very satisfying about working on a board like this and seeing how you can progress the colours along the board. More water. And a little tap of the red. Lovely. I'm going to move that, and we're going to go right at the end here. Such a feisty colour. And you can see it's already mixing orange and this pillar box red is making sort of a corally colour in between, which is gorgeous. Keep on working it back and forwards. The trick is, it's partly brush, it's partly technique. If you get good tools, you'll end up with great results. So I'm lightly, again, brushing over this, tickling the surface now, just to blend the two together. And I want to make this deeper, so I'm going to go back for some more red. And at the very top, just add some depth to that. There we go. And if you've enjoyed this short tutorial, you'll find many more blending techniques within my academy. But please go away, try this technique. I hope you get great results. I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.